Hi everyone, welcome to Module 1 of Multisensory 2. We are ready to get going and we are going to be starting out with fluency in Module 1. So these are your objectives. Remember, it's summertime, so we are cramming a whole semester's worth of material into 5 weeks. Means a lot of objectives, and so we'll have several assignments due each week. Our objective is that you will be able to design, teach, evaluate, and adjust instructional activities and approaches that are most likely to improve fluency through being able to understand the role of fluency in word recognition, oral reading, silent reading, comprehension, and motivation to read, understanding reading fluency as a stage of normal reading development, as the primary symptom of some reading disorders, and as a consequence of practice and instruction. You'll be able to know sources of activities for building fluency in component reading skills, and you'll know which instructional activities and approaches are most likely to improve fluency outcomes. So I'm very excited to have you with us in this class and as we go into fluency. So you're going to start out with some foundational information. You have a link there to a video that's just going to review with you what is fluency. This one is a short, I think 3 or 4 minute video, just kind of hitting the highlights for you, and it's linked there. After you watch the video, I don't think that was the second one. Did we skip one? Yeah. After you watch the video, I'm just going to leave this like this. I have an ILA brief for you, and this is just like a little 3-page briefs, or like those little papers that ILA puts out from time to time, or position statements, and this is the one they did on reading. And I love it because it talks about reading fluency does not mean reading fast. So fluency includes reading fast, or being able to read, not necessarily fast, but with automaticity would be a better word. But it's not just that. So reading fluently does not mean reading fast. That would be a great article for you to read. And then this video is short, and I thought that it would be interesting for you to check out about eye movements and skilled reading. There's a lot of research in communication disorders right now going on with eye movement and eye tracking, and how your eyes track with students that have dyslexia and students that have fluency issues. This is just a tip of the iceberg, just to let you see a little something that's out there and that's going on right now. If that's something that you want to explore and dig into a little bit, this is just a short little video about what in the world your eyes moving have to do with being a skilled reader. So then we're going to talk about why in the world is fluency important. And I'm so excited that there is a video. This is a long one. It's almost an hour. But it's Dr. Tim Rosinski. He is a leader in the field. If you say fluency, you should say Rosinski right with it. He is amazing. I heard him at ILA last summer, and he was just fascinating. He has developed... Sorry. I should tell people I'm videoing, right? He has developed a series on fluency that has like some shared readings, paired readings. It's a little book. It wasn't for Scholastic. I can't remember the name of the company. I will find my copy and I'll send the name out to you all. But it's really good. The one that I have is for 2nd grade, but he is definitely worth listening to. The thing that I remember the most about listening to his session was he started out with all of the different meanings of a word depending on how you say it. and the word he used was dude. And he thought about the different punctuation marks. Dude, dude, dude. Those all mean very different things, but it's the same word. It's just how we're saying them. So he is pretty amazing. I hope you enjoy that video. And then I'm going to let you hear some examples of what good fluency sounds like. And I know most of you are teaching and have done that for at least a year, so you have probably heard this with the kids, but for those that haven't, I think this is just a really good thing to be able to hear at kindergarten, third, and fourth grade. Those are just 2 or 3 minute videos there, and it shows you what a child should sound like reading fluently. And then the big thing that you all want to know is, how can I help my struggling readers? How can I help my students with dyslexia with fluency? That's what we all want to know, right? So the first thing that we have to do is we have to figure out how we know there's a problem. And this is from Scholastic, talking about there's a lot of good tests on the market that measure fluency from several known researchers. Your reading specialist will know these. Guess what? You're about to be the reading specialist, right? And that really is going to be, in the state of Arkansas, we use DIBELS for our fluency, and it's very good, and I would recommend that still as your fluency assessment. So yeah, definitely DIBELS, and then running records that you use for progress monitoring. Those are good. But this is some milestones that Scholastic has set out, and I would have to have my DIBELS chart in front of me. I always have to look at it to see how close these are. But it tells you about how many words a minute. This is K through 2, and then 3 or 4, about how they should be doing. And if they're not doing, that's when you know there's a problem. So if we have DIBELS, generally they end up being red, yellow, or green, right? So if they score right where they're supposed to be, in the range of a typical average grade level, then they would be considered core, or that would be green. If they're yellow, that means that they are just right there. They need a little bit of assistance. We want to be sure that they don't bump down into the green. Bump down into the red, excuse me. We don't want them in the red. But we would like to move them into the green. So green is core, that's the best. Then we move to yellow, which is strategic, I believe is the word they use. And then red is our intensive. Those are our kiddos that need intensive intervention to be able to get them to where they need to be on grade level. So that's how we know. That's how we know kids have trouble with fluency. And it's actually a very prevalent problem. And you will read that in some of your articles and things this week. This is a great post on fluency at the International Literacy Association website. It's just linked right there. I want you to read that one about fluency. And then at this point you would stop, and you should have a student that you're going to be working with, and in Blackboard there is a prosody rubric assignment. So you know how we talked about that it's not just reading fast, right? So it's not just reading with automaticity. You've heard in your videos that it's other things too. So in Module 1, and I'm going to turn this on for you, you are going to have a prosody rubric. And so with your student, you're just going to listen to them read, and you don't have to listen to them read a lot to be able to do this, and complete the rubric that's found at the link, and then write a reflection of what you learned about their fluency from listening to them complete the rubric. And I am looking, and I do not see the link. So I will have to fix that. Let me see if I have it right in here. Yes. So this is what we're looking for, and I will link this. You're looking at expression and volume, you're looking at phrasing, you're looking at smoothness, and you're looking at pace. So we want them in the 4s, obviously. So we've had automaticity. That's going to be covered with a Dibbles assessment, and decoding, or that's going to be covered in a Dibbles assessment. This is going to be more in your prosody that you're going to be looking at. So you're just going to fill out this rubric, and let me just go ahead and get that link in there so I don't forget. And you're going to do this with your students. One student, excuse me. Let me post it here. There we go. So you're going to listen to them read. And yes, there it is. Fill out the rubric and then write a brief reflection. So you're just circling those, right? And then you're going to upload your rubric, which is 5 points, and your reflection, which is 10 points, to your Blackboard link there. Okay? Then we are back in to our Google Slides, and we are moving right along. And then we're going to think about, what if they struggle? Okay? So I want you to go back into your Bursch book. I know you love that book. It's so wonderful. It has lots of great information and activities at the end of the chapter. So I want you to read chapter 10. That's 293 through 320. Be sure and go all the way to 320. It's actually marked an appendix, I cannot talk today, to chapter 10, and I want you to be sure that you see that information too. So read that chapter. And then you all remember our Logic of English person, and I have since learned she pronounces it Denise Ide, because she says her name on here, so I'm so excited that we now know. Denise Ide, and she talks just briefly about fluency. It's just about 4 or 5 minutes, but it's really interesting, I think, for us to hear from her perspective, since we have her Logic of English text that we're going to be working in also. Reading Rockets, we have a little article here for you to read about fluency and the struggling reader. And then here are 2 other things about reading difficulties they have to deal more with when it becomes to the problem that it's actually at a disability level. So I want you to read those for me too, please. Okay, and then you're going to stop. And those of you that have been with me in Multisensory 1, you have a Flipgrid account, so you know what to do. If you haven't, if you will go to that Flipgrid address right here and enter your Flipgrid code, make you an account, and then you will have a response. It's a video. I've set it for 3 minutes. So you can have up to 3 minutes, no longer. You don't have to take 3 minutes. And this one, you're not going to be watching each other's and responding. This is only for me. And sometimes we'll do that. So there is a response there about the different roles that fluency plays. And I would like for you to respond that in video response and do it in Flipgrid. You do not have to do one thing in Blackboard about this. This is just in Flipgrid. Okay? You don't have to tell me you completed it. After Sunday, when everything's due and I start grading, I will go look in Flipgrid. So then we've learned about fluency, struggling readers. You have all of this wealth of information that you've learned through these articles, our text, the videos, our experts, Rosinski and Ide. So we want to know, how in the world can we help in a multisensory way? And I think fluency is one of the easiest things to teach in a multisensory way. So I have a video here. The first one really is more singing. And then the neurological impress method, which I think is just wonderful. Reader's theater, repeated reading, and choral reading. These are all links to YouTube videos. So, feel free. If you already know what that is and you practice it in your class, maybe you don't need to go and watch it unless you want to. That could save you some time. If you have no idea what it is, that's what I would watch. The Whisper Phone, I love the Whisper Phone. I have some Whisper Phones in my office that I would love to give away if somebody lets me know that they want them or comes by my office or something, because I have a little video there about Rosinski and endorsing the use of the Whisper Phone, and I just love it. I think kids love any time that they have a manipulative, and I know that you all know that. Echo reading, the Star Words box, Fluency Boot Camp. So these are all some great things. And then I let Scooping have its own page because I really, really love Scooping. And the Wilson Reading Program does Scooping very well. One of these links is for Wilson, and it lets you see it in there. And then I also love this Reading Mama, and she has got a great step-by-step with pictures about Scooping. So this would be a really fun thing for you to be able to do with your students, but it's also good to do with your kids. And like I said, I know Wilson does it very well. I'm almost positive that I saw this in Phonics First from some of you all that use that. I think that you all shared it with me. So now I want you to go to the discussion board. You're going to go back out to Blackboard, and you have a discussion board. It's here at the bottom, and it says you learned a lot of strategies for fluency instruction through the module this week. Submit 2 additional ideas for multisensory fluency instruction lessons or activities. You can give a link with your description if it's something you find online or if there's a video to share, but be sure and tell us something about it. And then I want you to look at everybody else's and respond to at least 2 others. Maybe find something that you've tried before, and so you want to let them know, hey, this works, or hey, it doesn't. Or if there's something that you want to try and you want to comment on it, that would be good too. Okay, and then I just wanted you to see, we all have talked about Barton in Multisensory 1. We did many levels of Barton. This is a little short video. It's about 3 or 4 minutes, but it shows you that Barton levels 1, 2, and 3 does include fluency, and that the fluency pages are on the tutor support page of the Barton Reading System site. So you're not officially trained through us, like you're getting the information. We have the license to be able to do this with you, but not to say that you are official Susan Barton trained folks. So you won't necessarily be able to get onto the website and access, but I can get onto the website, and I do have access and can get things off for us. So if there's any of you that are using Barton and you would like for me to go and pull those fluency pages off and share them with you, I am more than happy to do that. Like I said, we have the license, so we're good. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is you're going to do the first of your 4 lessons this week. This is your fluency lesson. Remember, you have all of that information in your syllabus that tells you about what fluency is and the kinds of things that we're looking for, and right, that yes. I'm going to double check that because I might be thinking of the other class. Okay, yes, this talks about the lesson plans and reflections, and so you have about fluent reading goals. That's some of the things we're looking for, and then you're going to find the fluent reading here and look at content knowledge, observable competencies, and then I'm going to be looking using this rubric down here to grade. Okay, so you're going to submit, you're going to do no more than 10 minutes teaching a fluency lesson. You're going to submit the video, a brief reflection, and your lesson plan. And I gave you a link to a lesson plan format that you could use. So video is 25 points, reflection and lesson plan together is 25 points. Because remember, we have 50 points per lesson that we're doing. I am going to tell you the best thing to do with your videos is to upload them to YouTube and then post the link for me in Blackboard, or to share your link from your Google Drive and post that in Blackboard. I just ask you, please, please, please be sure that you've shared it with me. The other thing is some people have trouble because the videos get too large. If you will contact the TLC, that's our little technology place in Mashburn, they are wonderful. And if you go to their website, so just go to the College of Ed website and look for the TLC, and there are resources there if you need help on how to compress your video, and that will help you to be able to make it more manageable to where it's easier to be able to upload. Okay, so that's all I've got for Module 1, and I look forward to seeing what you come up with.